This version of One Play Wednesday is going to be focusing on AHMAD GARDNER and one play he made against the Ravens in the Ravens' 24-9 win at New York in Week 1. Gardner has all the tools, physical tools, great man cover guy, physical, strong, very agile. But one of the things I think that really separates him is his awareness and his intelligence when in zone. And I had talked about that a little bit during the pre-draft process. There were a bunch of people who had Gardner, projected too low, if you ask me. I personally think he may have been one of the two best players in the entire draft. Certainly through Week 1 against the Ravens, he looks the part. I'm going to show you what I call a climb concept. Some people would call it an over route. And there's going to be, honestly, some old film in here. So I'm going to show you Gardner first, defending this concept, and then going to show you some film from 2021 and 2020, and then we'll come back to this play at the end. So we're just going to let it run all the way through, attacking with Mark Andrews on one of his patented routes. I call it a climb route, originating from the other side of the field, vertical, and it ends up outside of the hash on the other side of the field. That's what delineates, climb for me, whereas we would call this like a deeper over route. But it's really the same concept. You're trying to throw it over the top of this corner. In this case, I don't think the Ravens give him anything to focus on in terms of the tight end over there. It's Pat Ricard. He just pass pros initially, tries to make it look like a run block. We'll let you see it one more time. And then I'm going to show you some other examples of it from previous seasons. And we'll come back to this one again, and hopefully you get an idea of how much better Gardner is than some of the other corners we show you in this video. I also will talk about some possible complementary plays that the Ravens could run to the other side, or complementary routes. All right, so same concept here. This is going to be a deep climb route to Sammy Watkins last year, Week 1 against the Raiders. And then over here you've got Ricard. He's going to initially block the D end and then slip out into the flats. And what that's going to do is it's going to hold this corner. So, am I saying that AHMAD GARDNER is better than this corner for the Raiders? No, I'm not. But what I am illustrating is that for whatever reason, the Ravens chose not to show him that eye candy on this particular play. He had nothing to cover because Ricard, after blocking in the Jets-Ravens game, Ricard ran across the field like this, quite slowly, as a matter of fact. In this case, it gives the corner something to guard, isolates Watkins on an inside linebacker, and he wins that matchup. We'll get you the end zone angle here just so you can see the timing of it and how it works out. There's Watkins on the left-hand side of your screen. 44, the linebacker, they've isolated him, and you can see that Ricard is done blocking now. He's sliding out into the flats. The running back is as well. So what they're doing is forcing the corner and the Sam linebacker, KJ Wright, to have to cover Ricard and the running back in the flats, occupy them, force the matchup between Watkins and the inside linebacker. 2020 film, same concept, except now the Bills are in a two-high look here. You can see a safety high here to the tight end nobody side, and a second safety to the trip side. You got 1, which is Hayden Hurst, 2, which I think is Marquise Brown, and then 3, which is Andrews. Again, Andrews is going to run this deep climb concept, and I think this receiver, this tight end this time, is going to run a little out to occupy that corner. So they've isolated Andrews on the safety this time because you have a slightly different look by the defense. We'll get back to the Jets film in a moment. By the way, this is incomplete. Still a great ball by Lamar. Put it in Andrews' hands. Gave him an opportunity. When we get back to the Jets film, notice the difference between the safety alignments. This safety here is over the top of the trip side, and then this safety here is over the top of the tight end. Last time we'll run this through, then we'll get back to Gardner, and you can make your own conclusions about his ability level, his awareness. I think that Gardner pre-snap against the Ravens is actually looking across the field. Here's the end zone angle to kind of try to show you. Last rep here of this climb concept to Brown, except it's more of a deep over route, and you don't have a tight end who's attached to the tackle here. You have a tight end in Mark Andrews who's going to run a little curl or comeback route. It's going to hold that corner. I offer to you that if it's true cover 3, he should be getting off, but it's not. They're making a lock or a Maryland or a Louis call on the backside, basically telling this backside corner, play man on the one receiver side, and the rest of us up here are going to play zone. You can see the difference between this corner's turn. His butt and his back is to the sideline, whereas this corner is absolutely reacting to Andrews' comeback route. We hit him over the top of that corner to the outer third in the opposite direction for where Marquise Brown lined up. That's definitely a deep over route and not a climb concept like I'm talking about. All right, Watch AHMAD Gardner's helmet. He's definitely looking back here right now. I believe he takes a look across the field. Maybe he's already done so, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think he's looking across the field now. We go motion right to left. Gardner covers it brilliantly. Prior to covering it brilliantly and making a pass breakup, he's going to point inside to this safety, which I think is Whitehead, and tell him to take Ricard. I'm sure the safety saw it as well, but Gardner's so aware, he's so smart, that he's telling guys who to guard. I think actually I mixed that up. Davis is going to be guarded by Whitehead, and then it looks like somebody else is going to try to pick up Ricard. But I don't think teams respect Ricard at that location. It's more so eye candy, trying to force people to defend him just by the alignment, just by the formation. We'll get to the All-22 one more time. This video is obviously a whole lot longer than all the other One Play Wednesday videos I did, but I thought it was worth it because AHMAD Gardner's such a special talent, number one, because this is a play the Ravens use to attack one high safety looks. Again, I'll show you the difference. Look at the difference between this safety's alignment and then the other safety is in the box here, okay, to the tight end side. This, I believe, is Quan Alexander. So it's 22 personnel by the Ravens, 2 running backs. Okay, treating Ricard as a running back personnel-wise because that's what he is. And then 2 tight ends, Oliver and Mark Andrews. But notice the safety's alignment. He is one high safety all the way. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to attack into an area of the field that free safety is not responsible for. We're going to talk about these routes by Oliver. And I think that's Bateman. Actually, that's Wallace up there. Forgive me. And we're going to see if we can talk about something that might be a little better option for us. That actually is DeMarcus Robinson. My bad. We're going to talk about something that might be a better option for us because as you see, as this develops, right as Lamar's releasing the football, this safety hasn't reacted yet. He hasn't overcommitted. He's waiting for the ball to be thrown. But you can see we've got an opportunity with the tight end up the seam here against Quan Alexander. Were the ball to be thrown, up this seam, to the top of the number side, Oliver would have an opportunity. Maybe we've got to use, to be honest with you, what I would call go switch, where the number 1 receiver, Robinson, goes to the top of the numbers and then up the top of the numbers. And then Oliver, who was in motion, runs the wheel, giving us a better opportunity for a receiver type to make that catch that I'm talking about. Because I think teams are prepared for this now. Look at the way Gardner plays it. Very aware young man. High-level skill, committed to his technique. I love how physical he is. Could not think higher of him as a player. Will be interesting to see how other teams attack him this year and how successful they are at it, to be honest with you. Again, last point I'll mention, if you're a Ravens fan, you do have a play-action fake. You've got a pulling guard, so they're giving the look of a run play. Ricard is also giving the look of a run play. I just think Ricard should be giving that run block look and then sliding out in here to the flats, maybe a deeper flat because Davis is going out there. So really, this to me just operates kind of like flood. And I don't think that having Ricard go, this way after his block really does anything to conflict this corner at all. So Gardner gets a little bit of the benefit here compared to some of the 2021 and 2020 film that I showed you, because I don't think the Ravens concept was as solid here, to be honest with you. Having said that, I think it's obvious that AHMAD Gardner played it, exquisitely, put himself in great position. I love how unafraid he is of making contact with NFL receivers and tight ends. He's not scared of pass interference calls, but, they certainly will come when you play as physical as he does. But I am very interested to see how he's attacked, how successful teams are at attacking him, because the Ravens were not successful at all unless we threw, play action boot concepts out to the flat to his side with generally a clear out route, pushing him deeper and making it impossible for him to defend that flat route. Let me know what you guys think of the One Play Wednesday concept in general, what you think of this AHMAD Gardner film study, because this is one play that I think shows not just his physical ability, his willingness to make contact with receivers, he's unafraid, but his awareness level. He is not a normal rookie, and I think a lot of us identified that in the pre-draft process. He's going to be a weapon for this Jets defense, which, if you ask me, is vastly improved over what they have had in previous seasons. Appreciate you guys checking the video out. If this is your first video watching on my channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you really enjoy this video and you think other NFL fans might like it, please consider sharing it on social media to increase its exposure and reach.